It's the end of October, the weather's getting colder, and I went to the parking lot one last time to practice figure eights and circles at slow speed on my Ninja 400. I find that videos help me to evaluate and remember what I'm doing in some of my hobbies. I'm hoping that this video will help me remember when spring comes around some of the points of technique I've been trying to integrate. So this video is primarily to help me, but maybe it will address some points which will be helpful to others. Let me be clear that I am anything but an authority. I'm just a guy with creaky joints in his 50s who's pretty much self-taught aside from some pointers I've gleaned from the internet. So what points of technique am I trying to apply? Smooth throttle control for one. I love the Ninja 400, but when I started doing these first gear parking lot exercises, I was alarmed by how hard it was for me to keep from chopping the throttle. But almost like magic, the more I've practiced with the Ninja, the better I've gotten at maintaining smooth throttle. As I go into a turn, I must be conscientious about maintaining speed and smooth throttle control. If I ease up on the throttle even slightly, then it chops, disrupting stability and traction, and I could go down. And I don't want to accelerate going into the turn because you can either increase lean angle or you can increase speed, but you can't do both simultaneously without risking a crash. If I set my speed going into the turn and then maintain it with conscientious throttle control, I'm most successful. Big note to self here. There have been lots of times when my impulse has been to relax my body going into the turn. I don't think that's been a bad thing, except that on occasion, it's been accompanied by an impulse to relax my hand and ease off on the throttle just slightly, and then I experience throttle chop as I lean the bike. Over time, I've gotten better at relaxing my body, including my hands, but deliberately maintaining speed and throttle. I've watched a lot of videos about counter steering, but for a long time, I didn't really comprehend, even though it should have been obvious to me, that while doing these slow speed exercises, I'm steering. I'm not counter steering. I'm doing the opposite. I'm steering. And in more recent times, I think I've discovered two things. First, that steering is the best way for me to tighten the radius of a slow speed turn. And second, at higher speeds, I seem to naturally revert to counter steering. I thought that maybe doing slow speed exercises while steering was going to cause problems for me while riding knee down at much higher speeds, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, other things. Over time, I've learned not to hang my butt too far off the seat. I'm convinced that that compromises stability on the pegs. I'm trying to soften and lower my inside shoulder as I go into the turn. I've been playing with maintaining a wider grip with my hands by sort of grasping the bar ends. This seems to give me a sense of greater leverage and control than when I'm maintaining a narrower grip, but I've got to play around with that some more. I find that the more I think about lowering and softening my inside shoulder, conscientiously gripping the tank with my high knee, and increasing the angle between my knees, the better things go. Lastly, I try to bring the bike down to the appropriate lean angle early and think about bringing my head low and keeping it pinned down, so to speak. I also want to mention, so that others aren't misled, that prior to doing these parking lot exercises, I clean the riding surface meticulously so that I don't have to worry about gravel and sand.